There are a bunch of reasons to get started with bullet journaling, and having a solid reason for doing it can help us stay consistent. So let's have a look at some of the secret benefits to bullet journaling. Getting our obvious ones out of the way, bullet journaling will help you track the past, order the present, and design the future. That's literally the promise on the front of the bullet journal method, but it makes sense. We have our previous entries to glance into the past, our current entries to sort out what we have to do in the here and now, and then spaces for our future planning, like our future log, goal plans, or any other future-focused layouts. Plus, if you're like me, you can use it as a creative outlet. It's that combination of helping me keep organized and also being a place to be creative that helps me stick with it. It's effectively filling two needs. But what are our other reasons for bullet journaling? Well, we have short-term and long-term benefits, so starting with the more immediate ones, one of the biggest benefits is the flexibility of the system. This is a system that's designed for you by you. No app works exactly the way your mind works, unless you're able to design it yourself. And if app making isn't within your skill set, then designing on paper is much easier. You get to design your journal to reflect what's important to you, and leave out what isn't. This is also a benefit when comparing it to pre-printed planners. I hate wasting paper, and often when trying to kind of tweak the layouts of pre-printed planners so they do fit with what I need, that can be a little bit tricky. Bullet journaling can also help you to decrease mental noise. You're taking your thoughts and you're capturing them onto paper so that you can make sense of them and deal with them intentionally. There's a reason why they call it a mindfulness practice disguised as a productivity system. The bullet journal practice sees us looking through all of those tasks and events and notes with a bit more intentionality, considering, does this actually serve me? Does this actually matter? This is what separates the bullet journal from just a regular task list. It's not just a list of all the stuff that you need to or want to get done, it's also the practice of considering the items on that list and thinking about whether they should still be there. Being an analog or paper-based system, bullet journaling also gives us an opportunity to unplug. If you're anything like me, then we spend a lot of time on our devices, and having a reason to get offline isn't a bad thing. Having a dedicated space that's analog or paper-based can really help to give us a break from screen time. That's in the short term, but what about looking forward? Now, as said, bullet journaling is a paper-based or analog system, which means we're going to be writing things by hand, and writing things by hand has its own benefits. Not only does it help us improve our memory and help us make connections, but it's also a slower process, which doesn't immediately seem to be a benefit, but this is something that bullet journaling relies on. There's more friction compared to typing things, which means that only the stuff that's worthy of taking the time to actually write out is gonna stick around in the long term. This is especially evident when it comes to things like migration, where we're moving things around in our journal or transferring them to different places. If something isn't worth taking the time to rewrite, then it probably isn't that important. Your bullet journal can act as a record of accomplishment and achievement. As you add entries to your journal, you're giving yourself a log of the stuff that you have either intended to do and gotten done, or intended to do and not quite finished. By using your bullet journal consistently, you're going to be recording your milestone moments and the work that led up to them. This is one of the things that keeps me in a bullet journal compared to a digital system. I find that with digital task lists, once something's done, it gets deleted, which means that I'm only really dwelling on the stuff that's yet to be accomplished. I need that record of achievement, or effectively log of the stuff that I have already done, to help keep me motivated to get more stuff done. Otherwise, I let my negativity bias get the better of me, and then I just end up dwelling on all the stuff that I'm yet to do. While those are all great benefits, the most important one for me is actually twofold. And the first part of this is the fact that your bullet journal effectively ends up being a snapshot of you at any point in time. As you add entries to your journal, you're outlining what's important to you. What mattered? What did you fill your days with? Depending on the information that you want to record, you can really get a sense of what life was like for you in those different periods. I can look back on my meal logs and see which foods I was obsessed with. Entries of various events bring back memories of times with friends. And of course, I have longer journal entries in there too, which give me a bit of a deeper look into what I was thinking and feeling. The second part of this benefit though is that through this record of what life was like, it allows us to build our self-understanding. Getting a better picture of ourselves and our preferences can help us make data-backed decisions when planning how we want to move forward. For instance, my habit trackers can tell tell me which habits I've struggled with previously, and other entries from that time can give me some context or possible reasons as to why. I can analyze my previous daily logs and see which days of the week I'm most productive, or which ones I have a tendency to add more to my plate than I can reasonably handle. I would love to hear about your reason for bullet journaling in the comments. Are they similar to the ones we've talked about, or is it something a little bit different? But if you're yet to start and thinking that a bullet journal might just be for you, then checking out our introduction to bullet journaling video is your next port of call. If you're looking to plan your bullet journal so it is the best that it can be, then our video at the bottom is for you. So click or tap on either of those and I'll see you over there.